Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So into the previous video, we had already seen that how you can create out a database, how you can use that database and how you can drop out the database. So in the last video, I just left out you with one of the questions that how you can check that whether the database which you have deleted or dropped is that particular database deleted or not. Right, so the answer for this thing I'll be giving in this particular video. Right here, we just created the database, we just used out that particular database and at last we have dropped that out. Right, now I just want to check that is that database really dropped out or not. So in that case, we have a function and that is show. Okay, I would just write out here show and after that I would simply write out here databases. What does this do? The show databases is one of the queries which helps me to see that what are the databases which are present into your data. Okay, what are the databases which you have into this particular MySQL workbench? What are the databases that are there? Right, this is the query which helps us to see that. So I would just select this out and let's run this out here. Now, have a look here. I don't know that whether it's visible to you clearly or not. If you're just using out the phone, so it must not be visible to you. But if you're using laptop, so yeah, I can see it is visible. So I could just increase this. Other than that, I am not able to do out any particular thing here. Fine, let's go ahead. See, here on to the left hand side of the corner, I'm getting out a database as a column and under that column, I'm getting many of the databases. Let's say these are created by me at some previous time or something like that. But here you are not able to see out that demo1 database which we had created right now. Right now, what's the reason for that? Okay, in this particular case, we just created out this database that is the name as demo1 and at this particular place only we just dropped this database as well. Dropping the data means to delete out that database. So that's the reason that you are not able to see out the database at this particular place, right? What I would just do here is that I'll be closing out this result from here. I would again execute the first line. So whenever I just want to execute any line multiple times, I simply select out that line and click on the run button. Fine, so downside I just got create database, that is okay. Now if I execute out this show databases, now if I execute this statement out, have a look that here now I have just got out my database that is demo1. The name for that database is demo1 and yes, this was only the name for the database which we had made out, right? Now what's the reason that I have get out here? Because this time I haven't dropped out this particular database, right? So hope you just got the idea that how you can just use out a particular database, right? Now whenever you just want to create out a table, so for creating out a table we just need to select out a database in which you would be creating out that particular table. Let me just first of all take it downside, take this as well down, right? Here now it's the space for writing out, right? Now what I would be just doing here is that I would be creating out a table. But before creating out a table, I need to select out a database inside which I just want this table. So I would be selecting out this demo1 here. Okay, I just selected that. Now just click on this and that's been selected. Now it's come here. Okay. So yeah, we had already seen out the command for creating out the table here, right? So okay, just one second, right here. So let me just go on to the OneNote here for a while and create the table here, right? What is this create function used for? It is used to create out the objects in the databases, right? So create table, table name, and what are the column name you would just want to give out, give that, and after that give out the data type for that particular column name. Again column name, and what are the n number of column names you just want to give out, you can give that, right? See, I just, as an example, previously I just created out a table. The name for that was teacher, right? After that I was having one of the columns here that was IT and the data type for that was integer. The next column I was having here as name and the data type for that was varchar and the phone number was as well integer. Some same sort of things we are just gonna make out here as well. So let's get started. I would just write out here as create, okay, table. My like I just want to create out a table. create table. And okay, what name you just want to give out to your table? So my name for my table would be employee. Okay, right here, put out the bracket, come to the new line, give it a tab space. Okay, here now just give out the column name, whatever you just want to give. So I would just want to give out here the column name first as employee underscore IT, my first column name. What type is it belonging to? That is the integer, right? So yeah, I just put on int there. Putting out a comma and now coming to a new line. Next, what you want to give? I want to give out here the employee name. So that is done. And here I'm writing out here as varchar. Right? Varchar is basically whenever you are just taking out any string. So in that string format, we just use out this varchar. Okay? And putting out the bracket and giving it a limit. Let's say my limit which I've just given out here is 200. Right? It means that one particular name can be of 200 words, not more than that. Right? It's giving out a sort of range here. Right? This is done. Employee IT, employee name. Okay. So I would just write out employee next. Next one is employee underscore work. Let's say that what work that particular employee do. Right, so this will be in the varchar only because that's again a sort of a character or a string one. So again I just give out here as 200. Now coming down and going back, this is how we just do out the things. See, now I just closed out the bracket here. Now please make sure to put out these all of the things which are here in the very much alignment. See, my bracket starts from here and it ends up at this particular place. Even you are able to see out this one line as well. So it means that the things which you are writing out, these all are in the proper alignments. Okay. Now, next thing to note down here is that you are creating out a table and the name for that table is employee, right? Now, to this employee table, what are the columns that I am giving out? I am giving out the column name that is employee IT, right? Now, IT would be into the integer format, right? So that is I just mentioned out here as int. Fine. Next, we are having the employee name, right? So that employee name will be in the characters, that is the string. Fine. So in that case, I just mentioned out here as varchar. Now, whenever we are taking out any string, so in that case, we just need to give out a limit as well. That okay. What's the limit that you are gonna give out here for making out this for giving out this particular values in the column, right? So that is 200 for me here. Next comes here another column which I just wanted to make out, that is employee underscore work, right? So that work is as well in the character format, so that comes. After that, I just close out my bracket and put out the semicolon. Now, just one thing more to mention out here. Many of you must be thinking that you mentioned of the comma here, you mentioned the comma here as well, but you did not mention of the comma here. Why? Because that's not the correct syntax, that's not the correct way for creating out a table. Okay, so this is the reason that I just I just did not mention out the comma here. So I would just now select this particular part and execute that out. Okay, so let's see what error it is giving to us. Fine. Create table, no database selected, select the default. Okay, let's select out a database here as well. So, okay, let's click on show databases. Let's click that out and choose out this demo one. And now let's run out these things, right? Now let's again run this out here. Okay, fine. So again, just let's see what it is giving me actually right here. No database selected. Select out the database. Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. We just need to execute out this statement, which is use one. Okay, use demo one. And now after that, I will be just clicking on again this particular part, right? So now that has been executed. Let me show you here. Find check out the last one. So see, create table and this much has been executed and this much of rows have been affected. Fine. So now the table which I was supposed to make out, that has been made. Now I was just getting out some error. I just solved that. Even I just told you how to do that. But if you haven't noticed that out, so let me again tell you. that whenever you are creating out a database, you need to select out a whenever you are creating out a table, you need to select out a database. So database which I have selected here, I just first of all need to execute this particular line, that is use this particular database, and after that I just need to execute this table one. Then only it will basically give you the output, otherwise it would show you that no database selected, no database selected. Right, so make sure to remember out these things. These small things are very much important if you are just coming into learning the MySQL, or if you're just new person in the MySQL. Right. So hope you just got out the idea that how you can first of all check out the databases, and then how you can just create out the table. Now how to see out the table and how to add some more features into that, all these things we'll be seeing in the next video. Right, so this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.